She's so cute. She said, "Mom, Mom." Oh, that's what Mr. Albie does to me. She loves her mom. Hi, Miss Minerva.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Okay.
How are you feeling today?
Better,
Oh, good.
but still, I don't know.
Yeah, still a little.
Weird.
Yeah,
Too many magnets flying around, I guess.
yeah. Well, we had the international show at school today, which is kind of they like do a fashion show, they do like kids. So, I don't know if I told you before, we have the most ethnically diverse student population in the state. And I think the last time I heard it was like students in the district from 62 different countries. And
Are
so
are they exchange
no,
students?
no,
They're just they live here all the time.
immigrant. Yeah, immigrants. And they so they have a like an international show where the kids can kind of get to show off their culture, and so kids with all the different, tradition, well, I don't know about traditional, but clothing of their home country and music and stuff. And it was really cool to see the kids come in and the group that was involved in this, each one of them carrying the flag of their home country.
Kind of like the Olympics.
Kind of, yeah. It was actually really cool to see just and as they should be, they're proud of where they come from.
And they didn't have to speak English?
No, did I tell you about the kid in my class that I knew that, I mean, he has an accent, so I knew he wasn't local, but I wasn't sure, where he was from, and asked him where his family was from, and he
It
said
used to
Afghanistan.
be exotic to have an accent.
Yeah,
Now I
now
can
it's,
get you in big trouble.
yeah. Really nice kid, does really well in class, and his family's from Afghanistan, and he was born there. And I said, "Did you speak English, before you came to the United States?" He said, "Yeah, I speak 5 languages." And I'm like, "You're 14 and you speak 5 languages, and our kids can't even read one." And we say that they're the ones that are backwards.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and the thing is, people that don't know what the world is about, they don't leave their local communities. That's what they think.
well, one of the kids at the international show, he's from Yemen. One of the other teachers told me that
I guess
his
I should put my glasses on. I can't see very good what you look you look like I need glasses.
I'm gonna start saying that to my students. "You look like I need glasses." And let him try to be like, "What the heck are you talking about?"
Like you're too far away or too close. I don't know what it is. That's better, but
But the one kid that was talking, I missed part of what he said because I had to step out for a minute, but I could tell he was telling a story, and I missed the first half of the first story. And then he told us telling another story about somebody that went to Yemen to volunteer as like a medic or, whatever, and said that they didn't really know what they were getting into, and that they thought they were going to go and like help hand out food and maybe medicine and stuff like that. And then the bombs started falling. And he said
when was this?
I missed where he said when it was, but it couldn't have been that long ago. I mean, he's in high school. So it can't be more than 18 or 19 at the most. But he said that because at the end of the story, he said, "This story is about me." He went to Yemen to volunteer. His father or maybe it was before he came here. I missed some of it, but one of the other teachers told me that his father in Yemen was a political prisoner and was supposed to get asylum in the US, and then the borders from they didn't allow any people from Yemen. So his father is basically got a target on his head in Yemen. And that he went to volunteer and he thought he was going to do basic stuff. And then the bombs started falling. And he said he was in an ambulance with another volunteer when it hit. And he said the smoke and the dust and everything just enveloped the ambulance. And when he was finally able to get out, he found a boy bleeding in the street, took him to the hospital. Um, he said the OR was just one room with a table, no real medical supplies. The surgeon was the boy's uncle, and he needed to have his leg amputated. And he told this kid to go find some painkillers so he could amputate the leg. No painkillers. The surgeon decides that the leg has to come off, and the kid bleeds to death on the table. And he said what he remembers is the blood running down his legs and staining his socks. And then another bomb went off, and he was able to get under the table, and he was okay, but the boys hadn't been covered yet
Oh.
with the sheet. And so then now he was extra covered in dust and dead on the table.
Yeah, that's a shame that they have to see that stuff at a young age, at any age, really.
Yeah, I mean, nobody should have to
No.
deal with that, but especially a kid. And he was there trying to do the right thing, and I was talking to one of the teachers. She's on one of the aides. She's from Iraq, and she can't even talk about what's going on in her country. And, she was getting emotional just talking, about it at all. And I'm like, we were saying, my students have no idea what it could be like,
Mhm.
you know, and, we're trying to get kids
Well,
just to come to
I can't
school.
say that I know. I mean, even though I've lived through, I've never been, you know, had to fear.
Right.
I
Well,
mean,
even with everything
the
going on now, we don't really have to be afraid that we're going to get bombed, for the most part.
not by another country.
Well, yeah. Um, we don't have to live in that fear that, is today the day that that our city gets hit, or that,
Yeah. Right.
and the kids don't realize how lucky they are to get an education. I mean, they really don't understand. And and I know there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of
Well,
things.
though I have been, well, I've been seeing, stuff. I don't I don't really wanna get political, but, there's
Well,
talking
every
about sending money to places that get all their social needs taken care of for free.
Well, when I was in Korea and had surgery, it was all the doctor wanted me to stay over
Well,
the weekend.
was that our money is going somewhere else, so those
Yeah.
people and they get free everything. We get free nothing, and we still pay, you know
Well, and then they say that, the immigrants here, getting free apparently, well, I don't know how political you want to get, but
I don't I don't wanna get political.
I've heard people say that they think that they apparently have this belief that immigrants get like a free house and a free car, and I'm like, where are these people that you think are getting this? Like, where are they?
Well, I don't remember my grandma and grandpa getting a free car or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know where these people get this information, but
Because my grandpa walked everywhere.
well,
Like, he walked I mean, they had a car. I don't know. I have that picture of them in the old.
oh, yeah, yeah, I remember
Okay,
that
well,
picture.
but he had an accident and he would never,
Yeah, I remember
drive again.
Mimi saying that. Well, and then I bet after Mimi had her
And they
accident,
didn't call it a car, they called it a machine.
yeah, I
They
bet
always
after
did call it a machine.
Mimi had her accident, he really didn't wanna drive.
Well, he never drove in my lifetime.
I thought Aunt Helen I guess she would have been little, because 'cause didn't Aunt Helen say about going with him in the car, or was that in the streetcar?
Streetcar.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you telling what she said or if she
Yeah,
said
she
it.
told me about it, I didn't know
Okay,
about it. She's
yeah.
the one that told me about it. And even though she was already, you know, her her dementia was already
Yeah.
pretty involved. I did believe her when she told stories of her childhood,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that
because
oftentimes that is what people go back to
right,
when
right.
they yeah.
Yeah, so I don't disbelieve that, you know, I mean, she didn't tell me a ton of stories, but, I'm pretty sure what she told me was, what really was true.
I always think about, like I'm always really interested in what life looked like, you know, earlier, like in when she was little or
Well, it probably it's like when I look at films from the '50s and any of my past, lifetime before even after color, and stuff. I mean, when I see those black and white films from those times, it's like I hardly recognize it either. But in my memory, they look the same as now.
well, yeah, because your
When I
memory
think
is the
back,
same.
it's like just looking back on, 10 years ago even,
Well, I look at every
but it
once in a
doesn't show
while
up on film that way.
right, every once in a while on YouTube, it'll show up, like, old commercials, like, from the '80s, like, when we were growing up and stuff,
Right.
and in my brain, they were crystal clear on the TV, but when I see the video, I'm like, "Man, that's really poor quality."
Well, and it was in that regard.
But at the
It
time, it was the best there'd ever been.
Right, right. Yeah, I and they don't always show, and I know that, you know, the films and whatever are probably limited to, they can't just go say, "Oh, well, remember this? Let's go." Nobody
Yeah.
there were some people that had, home movies, but it wasn't something that you did every day.
Right,
But,
yeah.
special occasions and stuff, people
Well,
would maybe take home movies,
like
but
in Christmas
and
Vacation
there
when
was
he
no sound on home movies
yeah.
originally. It wasn't even until the '70s probably that, because Mamie and Poppy had a I don't know if it was VCR? No, it wasn't VCR yet.
No.
It was film, and it had a separate microphone, but it took some doing to sync it, and I can't
Oh,
remember exactly if I don't know if you had to do settings to sync it as you were filming, or if it must have been while you were filming, because that was regular film at the time. It wasn't
Well, I remember
I can't
being
really remember it that well.
I remember being in elementary school, and we're definitely the last generation that remembers this, with the film strips. And you
Yeah.
had the teacher had to sync the cassette recording to the film strip, and if they didn't do it right, was often it was it was really distracting.
Well, it always had a ding when it was time
Yeah.
to change the picture.
Well,
Ding.
not the slide thing, but like an actual
No,
film
the
strip.
film strip.
I
The
don't remember the ding.
Yeah. Well, it was on the audio part. It had like, when it would be time to change it, there would be a ding, and
Oh,
then
I
you
don't remember that.
turn to the next picture.
I just remember I remember being in Mrs. Muller's class in 2nd grade, and of course, kids, everybody's like, "I wanna do the film strip, I wanna do the film strip." And now they're like, "Oh, it's the TV again."
Yeah.
Yeah, that the novelty of having something new in the class that wasn't there all the time is gone because everything's there all the time. The TV's there all the time, the iPads, the laptops, they're so used to it that it's, you know,
Well,
until
I
they get
remember in grade school, there was a TV on a cart, and I guess all of
Really?
the whole yeah, the whole school, I guess. Yeah, because I guess they took turns. I don't know, but I don't know if it was 4th grade. I don't know. I remember watching Channel 9 in black and white, really fuzzy because it reception wasn't great. Of course, we were we were on the flight path to the airport also, and
Yeah,
so we used to get all the sonic booms.
yeah. I've only heard that once in my life.
Yeah, we
And
used to get them all the time.
I remember I was in 6th grade in social studies class, and we didn't know what it was, but my teacher did. And, so he was able to tell us, "It's okay. It's a sonic boom. You probably haven't heard one before," but he knew what it was because he was probably around, the age you were at the time. And, yeah, I remember it, like, shook the whole building
Yeah.
and, it was kinda scary when you're not
Well, and, there was no air conditioning to
well,
it
drown out the sound.
often.
One of the things I one of the things I think is funny, if I stay after school sometimes, I think it's around 4 o'clock. The quarry has to wait until after school's over to do their blasting. And if people are like away teams, other schools that are coming for sports or whatever, if they don't expect it and you see them really freak out, like
Oh,
they're because they're not expecting that, to hear that and it shakes the whole building.
mhm.
And even sometimes when I'm there, don't pay attention to the time and I get startled, by it.
Well, I mean, even when I hear the sirens, even though I know it happens once a month that they test
Oh,
them,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not always prepared, and then they go off and kinda startle me.
I mean, when it's perfectly sunny outside, and then,
I don't know if I used to get startled with the sonic booms when I was a kid or not. I mean,
well, if you grew up with them, you probably weren't all that startled.
well, it's not like they were on a schedule, though. They would just
Right.
happen randomly,
You might have
and
been
that's what I mean
startled,
about getting startled, but
but you probably weren't scared. You might have been
I wasn't
startled, but
afraid,
not.
no.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I got startled or not. I can't remember everything.
Well, why not?
I don't know.
So, well, I've got some stuff to work on and I came home from work to do more work.
Well, that's the way your life is. I don't know.
Well, people, yeah, don't always understand that about being a teacher. You come home from work to do more work. Not all the time, but often
Yeah.
enough. So, all right. Well, I
Well,
will
don't
talk to
forget
you.
to clock out. I don't think they'll wanna pay you overtime.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then I get in tr somebody says something about being 5 minutes late when I don't even have class for an hour. It's like
Yeah.
and then I'm like, "Do you know I go home and do 2 hours of work most days?" Like, so, alright, well, I will talk to you later.
Alright. I love you.
Alright, I love you too. Bye.
I
You can keep talking, I think. I think it stops recording.
I think it hit. Yeah, it does. It's not lighting up when I talk. I mean, the timer is still going,
Yeah,
with the
but
red dot.
it
Oh, now
says
it's
that
showing.
it's
It must light up when you talk.
no, it
Mine
lights
lights up when you talk.